So here we go, it's a Sunday and we're going to head down to the East Tennessee History Center in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you've been watching our videos and blogs, we went in there and we found out some information on an earlier blog where we went around downtown and they said that it was free on Sunday. So we're gonna go catch the last, I believe, 2 hours of it being open and see what all is there and let you know if your family needs to go check it out, or rather we'll just show you what we see and you can make up your own mind. So we just made it in and we had a pit stop and now we're gonna go through and take a look at it, but it's complimentary today and we have 7 of us that are going in, and it's the only thing they asked is who was 16 and under, and that was just for their records. So we're gonna go in and take a look at the rest of the museum. So the first thing we're gonna go into is, oh yep, everyone's already in there. I don't know if you can see them. Is what it looks like for the corner drugstore around here in Tennessee. So it's something that, you know, I remember seeing stuff like this growing up, like where they tried to keep drugstores the way they were when they were first built in my hometown, but it's just gonna be kind of fun for our kids to see what a corner drugstore was like, because it really was like where people congregated, where you did more than just get your medicines. You learned information, you got ice cream and soda. So we're gonna go in here and take a look at it. Everything in here is from the East Tennessee area. So looks like, look, you can even see where they made the soda fountain drinks and all the medicines and different things.
Sprinkles.
So what are you seeing?
I'm seeing like sprinkles for stuff.
For stuff?
I don't know.
Like for medicine? What do you put sprinkles on?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream!
Think something like the toilet. I saw a seat.
Seeing the toilet?
Yeah, it's toilet if you're sick or something.
Oh no, you know what those are for.
If you're lying in bed and...
No, but you know what else they use them for? They still use them. When you're in the hospital and you can't get out of your hospital bed.
Yeah,
It's a
toilet.
bedpan.
Yeah, that's a bedpan.
But that's like a medical tool.
Yeah.
So that's why it's in a drugstore. Look, you learned something today. So Cody and I are in an exhibit that explains the history of East Tennessee, and it's called Voices of the Land, I believe. And I think it's a permanent exhibit here, but we're starting off with a video that's gonna take us around and explain the history here.
My mother's people came over before the Revolution. They were actually among the Watauga settlers. They came in defiance of the British order. East Tennessee was founded by people looking for home, freedom, security, land, ability to practice religion.
As you can see, whoops, the light adjust here. It's really well done here. There's a lot of reading. So if you have kiddos that have a hard time reading or can't just have a lot of time, don't want to read and have an attention span issue where they can't read for a while, you might have some issues here. You might want to bring some fidgets or something for them to do to keep them occupied. But everything looks really well done here. There's a lot of cool artifacts, and I can't wait to dig into some of it. So here we're seeing Betsy, which is the name that Davey Crockett, who's quite famous in American history. It's his first rifle, and he actually had it and then sold it to someone so that he could get a courting horse, so that he could start courting and then marry his wife.
William Blount was not the typical frontiersman. He was born to a wealthy and prominent North Carolina family. He served in the Continental Army during the American Revolution and later at the Constitutional Convention, where he came to the attention of George Washington. In 1790, Washington appointed William Blount as governor of the newly established Southwest Territory, including what would one day be Tennessee. It suited Blount, who already owned land there that he had never seen. He wrote,
"The appointment is truly important to me. The salary is handsome, and my western lands had become so great an object to me that it had become absolutely necessary that I should go to the western country to secure them, and perhaps my presence might have enhanced their value. I am sure my present appointment will.
At that time on the western frontier, land dealing was like the stock market today, and Blunt profited in it. The educated, cultivated William Blunt also achieved political victories and successfully negotiated the Treaty of Holston with the Cherokee. He moved to White's Fort and began to establish the town as the capital of the Southwest Territory.
Trying your hand at weaving? How's it going?
Alright. As of yet.
As of yet.
Yeah. I want to show you once I get all the way done. How am I doing?
Good. How do you feel?
Great. After when I did all that, I just did that.
So I was wondering what Cody was doing, and this is a stereoscope. So teachers wanted to teach their students about other places and different things. So it's almost like a Viewmaster, and they could show them pictures of different things around the world. So this was a teaching tool that he's using right now.
After the Civil War, local color writers presented another image of mountain people. It appealed to the growing market of middle-class readers in the urban and industrialized parts of the country. They wanted stories about country people whose lives could be viewed as peculiar from their own. Soon, the hillbilly stereotype became widely familiar through national magazines and syndicated cartoons. In these portrayals, mountain men were ignorant, lazy, and drunk on moonshine. The women were coarse, but hardworking.
So we're even able to see some of the products and different things that people around in the area created to basically to sell themselves and to help out with the economy around here. But the hillbilly stereotype was evidently started from around here because writers were using it to sell their books to middle class, and the middle class was craving for something peculiar and people that were different from themselves. So all of a sudden this hillbilly mountain people thing started catching on. So that's where the hillbilly thing came from. Who knew? So we're seeing a lot. Do you know what the exhibit behind us is? Did you read that? Nope, we don't know what that is, but it looks really cool. It almost looks like another drugstore or something. I know that area back there is talking about jobs in Tennessee.
Crushed pellet, I think, into powder or something like that.
So you're using a pedestal over there. So this museum has a ton of history. And of course, East Tennessee history isn't complete without that dress back there. It looks like it was worn by Dolly Parton. And so I have a close-up of that I'll show a little bit later, but there's a little section on her and the whole, like everyone that's come out of here, East Tennessee. Section of the museum is about Oak Ridge, which is also called the Secret City. Cody, you know why it was called the Secret City?
No.
Well, let me tell you. It was the Secret City because that during World War II, scientists had to discover fuel for the it was part of the Manhattan Project, was trying to create the atomic bomb. So I just read something here though that was interesting to me, and which said, it was down in here, which you can't see because there's a glare, but it basically said, like the residents in Knoxville, Oak Ridge is close to Knoxville, but after the war, people were surprised to find out after the bomb was dropped that a city or a town close by here was a part of the Manhattan Project and part of making that happen. So it actually also says up in here too that 4,000 residents were displaced, and then when they were driven out, the city of Oak Ridge sprang up so that they could figure out how to make the fuel for the atomic bomb. So that's actually right close to Knoxville, and there's actually some museums and different information there. The facilities are still doing research and different things. As far as I know, it's not anything to do with atomic bombs or anything like that, but it's still some really cool research facilities that are going open over there with scientists working on things. So that's worth another trip maybe that we'll do in another vlog and see if there's anything fun over there. So, we've been in here for probably how long? No idea. But one thing that we're saying is there's a lot of cool stuff. It's really well done. Very quality, but kind of overwhelming at the same time because there's just so much stuff here. Like, you just go around, it's all well done, and there's lots to read, and there's activities for kids and different things. If you're trying to see it all in one shebang, overwhelmed city. Like, even for the adults, like, I could probably go into like a sensory meltdown mode here after a while just because there's so much. So I think if you come here, it's great, but what do you think?
There's just a lot of reading.
Do you think, like, if they're coming here with kids that can deal with the reading, like, plan on seeing like a quarter of the exhibit?
Depends on how much time you have and how awake you are. I'm beat today.
There's an owl. Oh, and he's only $10. That's not a bad price.
Plus tax.
Plus tax? Yeah, of course.
Stuff above $10 has to have tax, so that's technically $11.
This little guy is $4.50. That's not bad either.
$4.50.
What did you find, Matthew?
$10 coins and a $3 arrow.
Oh, and here's some moon pies because they were invented in Tennessee. We got, the mason jar because moonshine was famous around here. It's $2 sticker. Got some history of Tennessee books. This looks like here's a Confederate hat from the Civil War, and it's $7. It's from the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, and for a kiddo, it's a pretty good price. So we just got out of the museum, and I'll have to say that was very quality. It was free on Sunday. I didn't check the prices for the rest of the time, but you could go on their website, which escapes me right now, but their website will have that information. Very quality for free if your kiddos have attention span issues, sensory issues. Wasn't too bad on the sensory issues really, but if they have attention span issues or they have trouble reading, you're gonna struggle in there.
We had a couple bouncing around like bouncy balls.
What was that?
I said we had a couple bouncing around like bouncy balls from place to place.
Yeah, like we said, we came here, we had a full morning already, so we definitely had some kiddos that were bouncing around and probably need to just have some time to rest and be away from things. So I even have one walking in front of me right now that's bouncing off the walls and is jibber-jabbering. But other than that, very quality museum. We definitely go back. We just take it in sections. We actually didn't see the whole thing because we knew it was time for our family to call it quits. And that's important, I think, for a foster and adoptive family, is to know when your family is done, when they're baked and fried and ready to call it quits and rest. And ours definitely was, or else we were gonna see some meltdowns happen. So we're heading back to the car and gonna rest and take it easy for the rest of the day. But definitely check out the museum when you're here on Sunday. It'd be something fun for your family to do. We hope that what little we showed you helps you to make a decision on whether you want to go. Hope it helps you to nurture and grow your foster and adoptive family.